Okay, welcome to the third and final review of the week. And up this time is Deep Space Rush, particularly the Nintendo Switch version. Yes, it is another Ratalaika game production. Another one of their original affairs, from what I can see. Now, it's usually easy to tell which ones are original and which ones they're porting over if they have Steam pages or not. Because for whatever reason, Rata Like It doesn't often appear in Steam. But anyway, since this is a Nintendo Switch review, that means over to the Galax.
So yeah, sometimes when a game combines two different genres, it becomes more than the sum of its parts. This game isn't really one of those times. So what we're trying to combine here is a side-scrolling shoot 'em up type game with a little bit of platforming, and then like a roguelike progression and procedurally generated areas and stuff. But they don't. There are some weird ways in which they mesh. Like in a roguelite, not like, sorry. Usually when you want to progress to get a certain upgrade for your next run or whatever, there's some strategy to how you want to play to do that. And in this game, there really mostly isn't. You play as someone whose job, I guess, is to loot, I believe, wrecked spaceships for money and stuff. And there's zombies and weird caterpillars and turrets and stuff in your way. And they all come in a variety of colors and behave in slightly different ways. Some of them explode. Some of them coat stuff in slime. But yeah, throughout the things, you get coins, and at any of there are terminals throughout the level where when you hit them, you can go to the shop, or you can buy them between lives without any actual loss of currency. I'm going to call it. There's no microtransactions or anything. It's just strictly in game. And then when you get to the shop, you can buy more slots on your health bar. You can buy increased base weapon power. You can buy, and everything else besides those pretty much is buying different types of guns or things that can drop. There are red balls that make you run faster and do more damage. There are blue balls that give you a blue force field that damages enemies and protects you from spikes and lasers. There are 5 different kinds of special guns. There's the grenade launcher, laser gun, machine gun that fires faster than your regular gun. There's a gun that shoots green bubbles that makes the things enemies fly up to the top of the screen, which can be really useful when you get it at the right time to use against an enemy that explodes when it dies, either to cover stuff in slime or to blow up part of the floor, because if you fall out of the ship, you die. I'm getting a little feedback. Is anybody else hearing me twice? No, but it went away. Okay. But that's the problem when you get them at a convenient time. There are only, aside from directions, there are basically 3 buttons in this game: jump and shoot, and then open menu, or pause. Which really the only options you get on the menu for that are go back to the beginning, go back to the title screen, or don't. And the items, the guns and power-ups are all dropped randomly. And you can only carry one gun, and if you pick up a new gun, it replaces the current one you have, and you can't use your default rifle when you have a better gun. And the only gun that has more than 5 ammo is the machine gun, which is barely an upgrade over your basic gun. So basically, it always seemed to me that whenever I got a powered-up gun, I tried to save them because they are useful, but you barely ever get them when they're... the grenade launcher is almost completely useless because the only advantage it really has is that like the projectile bounces if you don't shove it directly into something, and then that's barely ever useful, and it only gives you 3 shots. And even when they're upgraded to the 5th level, which is the highest, they don't drop often enough that you like always have it. So like if you could collect like 2 different kinds of guns or something, and or save one that you don't want to use at the time, I feel like that would really help it. The controls are also a little stiff. I don't want to sound like I'm only complaining, because it is fun, like especially at first. But there's not really much to keep doing. I'm not even sure the ships ever actually end. I never got to the end of one. Because you start with barely any life, and even at full, there are a lot of things that hurt you. There are vertical lasers that appear and disappear that you have to time right. There are regular spikes. There are spikes that pop up and down. There are spikes that actually turn into caterpillars and then explode. There are zombies of various speeds, and there are turrets, and it's just there's a lot of stuff that's trying to kill you. So yeah, I think it's fun. I did not actually check the price, but I believe it's fairly cheap, and in that case, it might be fun to take for a spin. But I just feel like with the ideas of what this game is doing, there are a few fairly small improvements that could make it a much better overall experience.
I have the price right here. It's $5.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine at $5. You could play it for fun for a while, but there doesn't seem to be much to do besides getting all the upgrades and going for a high score. And I guess if there aren't any other versions, or maybe if there are versions on other consoles, then those might have achievements to aim for, but
they do. Right.
But the Switch version obviously doesn't have those, because the Switch does not have a built-in achievement system. So yeah, it's a fun enough game, but it doesn't quite live up to the potential of the idea that it puts forward. Because there's a lot you could do with like procedurally generated Contra type run and gun stuff with interesting weapon types, but you need to make it so that they're like usable when you want them. And a little bit more enemy variety that's not just different colors of zombies and different colors of caterpillars and then turrets would probably be better. So yeah, on the adjusted scale of where 5 is actually like an average game, I would say maybe 5, maybe 4.5. I don't think it's not in any way actually bad. It's just I feel like there could be a lot more here.
That's kind of the Ratalaika idiom, though. They put out very small games that are very solid, but not particularly impressive in terms of content or scale or anything like that.
Yeah, I think the only actual other beef I have, aside from getting stuck with a grenade launcher when I just want my goddamn rifle, is that the double jump is a little bit stiff.
All right. So, anything else?
That's about I like the art, and I didn't listen to the music that much, but it was pretty decent. Again, it's pretty much just the one track for most of the game, so.
Right. All right, then. So that will about do it for this week's Fragments of Silicon reviews. The week ahead, let's see, coming up on Wednesday, December 4th, we will be having Adrian Quay Thevion of Bebop Games. He is a one-man development studio, and the game is perhaps not the right word. Maybe the platform. Because he has developed this thing called Playcraft, which obviously is a play, if you will, on Minecraft. but this has gone even further. Like, Playcraft is a free-to-play online multiplayer sandbox game maker. I'm like,
What?
Hmm.
Wait, is it a?
it is
Is the game maker online multiplayer free to play, or is it for making online multiplayer free to play games?
the second one, I think. I'm like, keep in mind, we will have the developer of this thing on the program on Wednesday, so you can ask him.
That's kind of weird.
Yes, it's what attracted me to this. It's not just another, oh, hey, Minecraft inspired survival crafting game. Because I've played around with it a bit. It's in early access, and oh boy, it's like it's in the early part of early access. Because it only launched about a month ago. In fact, that's why we're doing the interview now. I wanted to do the interview around the launch, but he was a little too busy, actually getting the project up. So we're doing it now. But it's not just building a thing and admiring it. Like, you can change properties of things. You can adjust physics. Physics is a big part of this thing. So if nothing else, this is pretty unique. And yes, it is free to play. Although there is some DLC, like there's a, trying to remember what they called it.
Playcraft Pro Pack.
That's it. Not necessarily DLC as, something a bit more professional. How much more professional? I couldn't say, but that's a thing we'll probably ask the developer come Wednesday. We do have a Friday show this week. Coming up on Friday, December 6th, we'll be having Gary Burchill of Fireblade Software. Speaking of survival, he is the developer of a game called, Abandoned Ship. Once again, it's one of those things that's kind of in the title. Yeah. And damn it, I hate it when I forget. Anyway, as far as what Abandoned Ship is, it is a PC game where you command an Age of Sail ship and her crew, meaning, think, the ships that they used about 400 or 500 years ago. Exploring a vast, story-filled world that reacts to your decision, engage enemy vessels, fortifications, and sea monsters in brutal tactical combat, all framed in an art style inspired by classical naval oil paintings. Interesting title. And it is and this game is actually fully out now. It was in early access, but not sure how long ago, but clearly short enough because the game came out initially 3 years ago. So it had an extended early access period. But we'll be talking about that on Friday. And until Wednesday, I shall wish you good gaming.